Hello, this is Joanne Hewins from lovetocreate.typepad.com. Today we're going to make this cute little card. It uses the snow globe scenes dies, and I did also use the stamp set Itty Bitty Christmas for some of the sayings in this card. So let's get started. This is the oh my goodness, I can't remember the name of this paper. It's near the beginning of the catalog and it has Toile in the name. And I don't have my book, I apologize. It will be in the comments below the video, the name of the paper. And this is real red on one side. It is garden green on the other, and it uses very vanilla as part of the background there. So the parts that we're going to need for this, and I've got some of this already cut, is the card base of garden green. This is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And let me just go ahead and use my bone folder to burnish that fold. And even though I have that scored, you know, people are just not perfect, and I still kind of need to match the corners here to make sure that I have a good fold for my card. I also have a piece of cherry cobbler. This is 3 3/4 by 5. Now you'll recall that I told you the other side of this was real red, but the green is the part that's going to show, and that's why I can use cherry cobbler with this. And then this piece is, so if this is 3 3/4, this one is 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. But again, those measurements will be on the post. And then you're going to need a piece of Very Vanilla for the inside of the card, and a piece of Very Vanilla for this oval here. Now to cut this oval, I use the Stitched Shapes framelits. I use the largest oval to do that, and I've already cut that out in the interest of time. I've also cut out, using the snow globe scenes, 2 of the trees in garden green, and I cut out 2 of the large bears and 4 of the small bears from soft suede using these dies. Okay, so here are my trees and my bears. So we'll get to those in a few minutes. Let's just go ahead and put together the basics of the card. And I'm just going to use my multi-purpose glue. I'm going to go ahead and adhere the designer series paper to the cherry cobbler. And again, I want the green side up. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead, I've got 2 lengths of the striped candy cane ribbon, and the longer one is going to go down the center of the card. Now I usually will put my card on my grid paper and kind of make sure that I'm in the center, and then I use that darker line to help me to get everything straight. So I'm going to do it about like that. I'm going to turn it over, and I usually just bring in some Scotch tape and tape that end down. And then I'm going to use the squares on my paper, assuming they're straight, to get the other end. All right, and now I'm ready to glue this to my card base. Now with this other piece, I'm going to go ahead and close that up right now. With this other piece, I'm going to tie a knot. Now you will notice, or maybe you haven't, that this ribbon seems to be equal parts cobbler and vanilla on one side, but on the other side, there's a lot more vanilla. It does not look the same. So when I tie my knot, I'm going to attempt to kind of turn one of these around. That's not going so well. Let me start again. But what I really want is for my pieces to come out with the same on the top. And I'm just going to try to twist that one around. And that'll work. Okay, and we'll need to trim those ends. And I don't have my ribbon cutting scissors out here. Okay, and we will attach that in a few minutes just with a glue dot. All right, so let's go ahead and work on assembling the trees on our oval. And I'm going to sponge these. So let me bring in, I'll do the trees first. Let me bring in my garden green. And then I have a dauber for my garden green. And I'm just going to, around some of these ends, put a little color on there. May even put a little bit on the front just so there's a little variation in how that looks. And then I'll do the same on the other side. You see the difference? The sponging really does make a difference. I might be a little more careful with this one. It's the one I'm going to put on the front. I'm still going to add, I think, a little color here in the middle for that. So now I've got my trees. And I'll set the garden green aside and I'll bring in the soft suede. And we will sponge all of our bears around the outside. I got a little heavy on that one, but we'll put him on the inside. Now I had used this with a class this past week, and I had a little bit of discussion, I noticed, when my customers were cutting out their bears, that they were not happy with something I had done. Let me finish sponging and I'll show you what that was. And we are going to fix it. But you can see on the cover of the card, I have a mother bear with her two babies. And on the inside, I'll show you in just a second, I only had the mother bear with one cub. Let me turn this over and show you. And they did not like that. They thought, well, she is missing one of her cubs, and she's not going to be happy about that. And I think they're probably right. And I'm going to go ahead and bring in my cherry cobbler and stamp the saying Christmas cheer. And I'm just going to use a little thin piece that's left over from cutting out fronts of cards. And we'll stamp that on there. And then I'll be using the classic label punch to punch out this saying. Alrighty. So now I think we're ready to adhere, and I'm hoping that I don't have too much brown on my hands or green on my hands that I start smudging everything. We'll hope not. I just realized I needed dimensionals, but I had them within reach. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just glue down this first layer of trees. And I'm going to go a little bit over the edge with that. And then this next group of trees will be put on with dimensionals. So I'm just going to cut some of these in half. I have a few smaller sheets that I'm going to try to use up here. Okay, so let me pull off my ends. Oops. And this is going to go over this way. Well, I'm sticking it to myself. Over this way, maybe down just a little and over to the side for this. Okay, now we're ready to do the big bear, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue up here, and the legs are just going to dangle a little there, and then we'll put a little bit behind his head there, and then I think I can stick a small, I'll just do a half dimensional up underneath his body. Okay, now that is showing just a little bit, and what I'm going to do is just get a little pokey tool and poke that up a little bit where it won't be seen. And okay, we're ready to put the saying on there, and I'm going to put that also on dimensionals. Oops. Not so sure that one's going to stay. Let me put another one. Okay. Pull it to the side and get rid of some of that dimensionals. And we're just going to let that stick over a little bit. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue here on the end for this little bear to be. Okay. All right. So now we are ready to put this on the card, and I am just going to glue that down. Since we already have stuff that is on dimensionals here. So we'll put that there. And then we will take a glue dot to put on our knot. So I'm just going to put that right on a glue dot and pull that up, and there it goes. Okay, actually, I think that I'm going to stick another glue dot under here. There, for some reason that first one didn't really want to stick. So there's the front of the card done. And let's work with the inside of the card. Now I've got our bears, and I think since we're going to have Mama with 2 babies, that we will put her, well, let's go ahead and stamp in case I mess up. We're going to pull in the garden green, and the thinking of you is also part of Itty Bitty Christmas. It is here, and the Christmas cheer is here. So those were both from Itty Bitty Christmas. And I'm going to do this in the green up here near the top. Yay! And then we'll glue our bears on here, sorry. So we'll put Mother here. And we'll put the two little babies. I was going to put them following her, but they're facing in opposite directions. So I'll just put them right in there. Probably should have put that in the center of the card. But there you go. There's the bears and their mama. And we'll just glue that right inside the card. And there we go. I like to use the glue. It gives you a little bit of movement space or movement time to get that in there straight. Okay, so here are our two cards. Here's one with just Mama and the baby looking at each other, and one with Mama and both of her cubs. I really think I should have put that over there or in the center, but it's okay. And here are both of the cards that we made. Oop. One more thing, we have the little snowflakes, and this is using the Snowflake Sequins. So I'm going to try to add just a tiny, this is a new glue, so it might not come out so tiny, but I'm going to try to put just a little tiny dot. And I might add more than what we had on the other one. And then we'll just take some of these sequins, and it would be best if I had my take your pick tool. I don't have it right here with me right now. So we'll just add those by hand. Everything but what I want. And then I'd like to get one of those stars. I'm licking my finger, which I probably should not do. And the glue will dry clear, so that'll be fine. So there's our little pieces that go there. And I'll add those back in just a minute so I don't lose any of them. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you'll try using the Snow Globe Scenes dies. I didn't even use the stamp set for this card, and I just think it's just as cute as it can be. If you need any supplies, I hope you'll consider me. I would love for you to use me as your demonstrator. I'd love to earn your business. Again, lovetoCreate.typepad.com. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.